So it figures, right? Yesterday I uploaded the weekly North News video for Friday, and of course, the next day we get the Matthew Stafford trade to go through. So I'm one day early on uploading a news video, and then breaking news happens the next day. So late last night, we learned that the Detroit Lions finalized a trade with the Los Angeles Rams. They're going to be swapping quarterbacks, and the Lions are going to get a bunch of draft capital in return as well. So this is huge. I mean, in the video yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before, in Weekly North News too, I discussed how this feels like it's the biggest shift in balance of power, probably since 2018 when Kirk Cousins signed with the Minnesota Vikings. We're basically looking at the Lions in the long term reaping the benefits, and the Rams in the short term reaping the benefits. And I know a lot of the takes on the internet are going to be, the Lions fleeced the Rams, got the better quarterback. I think both teams won this. I honestly do. There's obviously going to be contrarians who believe both teams lost this. And there's arguments that you can make for that, but I think both teams win. Now, hear me out. So, in terms of how the Lions won, they get a quarterback that's younger. They get a quarterback that they can mold into what they want to do, and they get the draft capital, and that's really what the point is of this trade, right? Is the draft capital. They get 2 first-round picks, and I believe they also got a third-round pick. And going forward, that's what the Lions need. The Lions need draft capital because, as we've discussed previously, the Detroit Lions roster currently, if you don't bring back Kenny Galladay, there's not many superstar, rising, talented athletes that you would want to build a franchise around. Now, I know DeAndre Swift is there, and Jeffrey Okudah had a bad season, mostly because of injury problems. But like in the important positions, like the offensive line and the defensive line in the trenches. Their secondary is rather porous since losing Darius Slay last year. It's a team that really needs a couple of years to get an influx of new talent, because Matt Patricia just absolutely destroyed this team trying to make them the Detroit Patriots with the signings that they did. So it was also funny that since I mentioned Matt Patricia, a side note that Matthew Stafford told the Lions that he was willing to take a trade anywhere except New England, which means people must friggin' hate that guy. I actually read an anecdote today that Matt Patricia used to just randomly create plays like on the spot, and he would write them on the table, like not a piece of paper, just take a pen or a pencil or whatever it is and just write the play on the table, which means tables and countertops had to probably get replaced pretty frequently around that guy. So I imagine everybody hated him for that. But anyway, the whole point is the draft capital. I don't think Dan Campbell is going to be your long-term coach in Detroit. I'm not sure that that's going to hold for more than 3 or 4 years. They're going to do something where they can build up this franchise, and I think the mentality is that they want things to change. That's why you bring in a guy like Dan Campbell. Bringing in a quarterback like Jared Goff, he has issues, right? And maybe I'll go into another video and discuss those in-depth issues, but really, it's just, I mean, you take a look at the end of Super Bowl 53, a couple of those passes that he made, where you could just tell that he just doesn't have it. There's just this small difference between quarterback 24 and quarterback 12, right? Not looking off a safety, just, not being able to lead a receiver, missing a wide open post route, taking too long, like 4 hitches just to throw it. Numerous criticisms to Jared Goff's game are why he finds himself in Detroit this week. As far as how the Rams won this just simply because Jared Goff's contract is no longer their problem, right? Similar to how a number of years ago with Brock Osweiler and that ridiculous contract, whatever team he was on, was like, that's your problem now. We don't want to deal with that anymore. So the Rams win this trade for that reason, and then the other big reason is, of course, they get Matthew Stafford. So the Jared Goff, yes, they're gonna take a $22.2 million dead cap hit for that contract, but at the same time, it's no longer something that they have to worry about. They got Matthew Stafford. I know he's 32 years old, but the dude is really good. He's got a lot of good football left in him. You'll probably get another 3 to 4 years out of him, maybe even another 6, given how some quarterbacks are going these days, playing until they're 38, 39. He may fall off the wagon a little bit sooner than an Aaron Rodgers, but That is yet to be seen. We don't really know. I, uh, I don't understand what the narrative is also about him not being able to stay healthy. Because if you go to his statistics and look at his starts and whatnot for his participation for the Detroit Lions, other than 2 years ago, he's played in every game since his sophomore season. 16 starts, 16 games, all across the board, up until I believe it was 2018. No, was it? No, it was 2019. So 2019, he missed 8 games with an injury. And then every other season, he's played all 16, started all 16, other than his sophomore and rookie years. So I don't know why this narrative exists. I know the dude gets banged up a lot, but the guy comes from one of the most poorly run franchises in the NFL. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is the OG 0-16, right? 0-16 team. They were the first ones to do it. They just continuously have bad seasons, and then the only two or three good seasons they had was with Jim Caldwell, and then they end up firing for no reason other than they want to move on to the next hot head coaching candidate. So I think it's going to be great to get Matthew Stafford into an environment with an organization that is run as well as Los Angeles Rams have been. Now, whatever you think of Stan Kroenke, the owner, I have my opinions on him. I don't really like the guy too much. I still remember the press conference when the announcement was made that they were going to be moving the team from St. Louis, and I thought some of his answers were kind of in the jackass sphere, but that is another video in and of itself. But, given Sean McVay's offense, his personnel decisions, the coaching staff, the players that they got, the reason the Rams did this is because they see a Super Bowl window, because they have Aaron Darnold, Jalen Ramsey. They're playing at the top of their careers right now. You're not going to have them forever. They realize they have to take advantage of that. Super Bowl 53, they probably should have won. They were a couple of plays away, and with a different quarterback not named Jared Goff, I think they probably beat the Patriots in that game, because it was a low-scoring defensive fest, and there was just 3 or 4 plays that Jared Goff missed in that Super Bowl that probably cost them the championship. So they see a Super Bowl window. Matthew Stafford can absolutely get them there. He does inherit a little bit less of a surrounding cast in terms of talent. Love Robert Woods, one of the most underrated wide receivers currently in the NFL. Cooper Kupp is great. Tyler Higbee's okay. Cam Akers and I forget the other running backs that they have. Their names escape me at the moment. D'Angelo Williams. No, that's wrong. D'Angelo Henderson. So he's got a good supporting cast, much better offensive line, amazing defense. This is the best defense that Matthew Stafford has ever had, bar none. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. A Detroit Lions fan can come in here and point to a season that I missed, but I don't think so. At least not in my memory. So this is a huge upgrade for the Rams. It's a huge upgrade for Matthew Stafford. Jared Goff gets to go be a reclamation project on a team that is rebuilding. There is no pressure on him. And the Lions got all the draft picks that they could possibly want. So I believe this is a win situation. It's a win for Jared Goff. He gets a fresh, fresh atmosphere. He gets out of the eye of, is he holding the Sean McVay offense back? So that is no longer something that we have to discuss. I don't think we're going to see a complicated offense in Detroit. I really don't, given all the things that we've already mentioned. Maybe this gives them a reason to bring back Kenny Golladay. Remember, all of their free agents, all of their wide receivers are currently free agents. There was a tweet put out today by Dan Orlovsky that said that the Rams should sign Marvin Jones, and he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So maybe we see that unfold here this offseason. But I think this is a win for everybody. On paper, it looks like it's really expensive. It looks like it could be lopsided. You could argue either way, but I think both teams win. I think both quarterbacks win this trade. And, one of the questions has been, what is this going to do to the price for Deshaun Watson in a trade? I don't think it changes anything, because, trades don't set precedents for other trades. Amari Cooper went for a first. DeAndre Hopkins went for a second. Stephon Diggs went for a whole bunch of picks. Every situation, scenario, and player is different. So don't just assume just because Matthew Stafford was traded for 2 picks, a quarterback, and a third rounder, that means that Deshaun Watson is going to demand 4 first rounders, an unborn child, in your left leg. That's just not how this works. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. What do you think? Who won the trade? Did anybody win the trade? What do you think of Matthew Stafford being out of the division and Jared Goff now being the next target of the Mike Zimmer and Minnesota Vikings defense? So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.